If you boarded a cruise ship in Dubai this week, you may have woken up to missile alerts. If you're due to fly to the Middle East for a cruise in the next few weeks, I'm afraid to say your holiday is looking like it's cancelled. US and Israeli strikes on Iran have triggered missile retaliation across the Gulf region. Airspace closures, shelter-in-place warnings, military deployments, and now cruise cancellations. As of today, multiple cruise ships are in the Gulf, with passengers from all over the world, including the United Kingdom. Mein Schiff 5, carrying large numbers of German passengers, is in the region. Celestial Journey is alongside in Doha. Celestyal Discovery is in Dubai. That is Celestyal's entire fleet. But overnight, the situation has escalated further. MSC Euribia has officially cancelled its 1st of March sailing from Doha. I'm not really surprised, are you? The ship is now docked at Cruise Terminal 3 at the port of Rashid in Dubai and will remain there until further notice. In a statement to guests, MSC said, due to the current situation and the airspace closure in the Middle East region, we are currently monitoring and reviewing all of our operations in the region. Our focus is the safety and security of our guests and crew. Therefore, MSC Euribia cruise sailing from Doha today, 1st of March, is cancelled and the ship will remain in the port of Dubai. Airspace closures across the region have made flights to and from Doha effectively impossible. Passengers who have disembarked are remaining in Dubai while MSC evaluates next steps. TUI Cruises has now cancelled multiple sailings. When the conflict escalated, Mein Schiff 4 was in Abu Dhabi and Mein Schiff 5 was in Doha. Passengers were initially instructed to shelter on board and remain indoors and away from windows. In a statement, TUI said, "We are monitoring the situation very closely and are in constant contact with the relevant authorities as well as the security departments of our parent companies TUI AG and Royal Caribbean Group." But as of the afternoon of February 28th, Mein Schiff 4's planned March 1st and March 2nd departures, both 7-night sailings, have been cancelled. Mein Schiff 5's February 28th sailing was also cancelled yesterday. Celestyal is currently taking a wait-and-see approach. Celestyal Journey is remaining in Doha. Celestyal Discovery is staying in Dubai for at least 24 hours. In a public statement, Celestyal said, "We are closely monitoring the evolving situation in the Middle East in coordination with the relevant authorities. Both ships will remain in port for 24 hours while the situation is assessed." If Celestials think that their 2nd of March sailing is departing tomorrow, they're delusional. It isn't happening. But I do feel for Celestyal and the smaller lines. A company like Celestyal has invested heavily in building its Middle East program. They have spent millions on marketing, partnerships, advertising campaigns, repositioning ships, securing port agreements. Competing in a region dominated by global giants like MSC is not cheap. When governments like the UK issue shelter-in-place orders and airspace closes overnight, that investment evaporates in an instant. For a small cruise operator, sudden instability like this is not just an inconvenience, it can put enormous pressure on cash flow, bookings, and confidence. The big 3 conglomerates can absorb regional shocks. Smaller lines feel them much more acutely. I think Celestyal could really struggle because of this. Aroya Cruises, an Arabian cruise brand operating Aroya Manara from Abu Dhabi, Doha and Dubai, has not yet confirmed cancellations. However, the cruise line has warned guests that updates may be imminent, stating, "The safety of our guests is our absolute priority. We will keep you informed of any further updates or changes." Cruise tracking data shows Aroya Manara currently hunkered down in Dubai alongside MSC Euribia and Celestyal Discovery. Cruises are being cancelled, ships are holding position, passengers are waiting for updates. These acts of war will have devastating effects, which will hurt the cruise industry. Whenever there is any global uncertainty, the cruise industry almost certainly suffers. Cruise ships are floating assets, often worth between $500 million and over $1 billion. Cruise companies are still carrying huge amounts of debt from the COVID-19 pandemic. Cruise lines survived COVID by borrowing heavily. Recovery depends on instability, predictable itineraries, and consumer confidence. The Strait of Hormuz handles roughly 20% of the world's oil supply. Maritime operators have been advised to avoid the Strait of Hormuz. Some shipping routes have already been paused. Any sustained instability will push oil prices further upwards. Fuel prices are already high because of Ukraine and Trump's last pet project in Venezuela. Cruise ships burn enormous quantities of fuel. We're talking like 6 meters to the gallon here. Even with hedging strategies, sustained increases in oil prices significantly increase operating costs. Then there is insurance. When regions are classified as war risk zones, marine insurers can raise premiums dramatically, sometimes overnight. That almost certainly has happened over the weekend. If war risk premiums surge, the economics of an itinerary unravel faster than one of Andrew Mountbatten's alibis. That is when further cancellations happen. Cruise lines do not place billion-dollar ships into volatile military situations. Cruise lines are far more sensible than world leaders these days. Think about all the cruise ships on world voyages, all the ships that are due to pass through the Suez Canal in the coming weeks. Maritime traffic in the region has already slowed as operators are advised to avoid the Strait of Hormuz. If instability spreads or Suez becomes compromised yet again, ships may be forced to reroute around Africa. Thousands of extra nautical miles, days added to itineraries, massive fuel costs, port cancellations, flight disruptions for passengers heading home. One reroute affects the next cruise, and the margins shrink for the cruise lines. And I've told you before, cruise lines never take those extra costs on the chin. They pass them on to you. That's what you're there for. Fares will climb. Passengers, even those nowhere near the Middle East, not even booked on a cruise to this region, will be affected. Geopolitical instability damages cruising not because cruise ships cannot move, but because every unexpected movement costs them more money. So what should you do right now? First, do not panic. If a region becomes unsafe, cruise lines will cancel or reroute. You will not be left sailing into danger. Don't go and cancel anything at the moment. If you cancel prematurely out of fear or concern, you will risk losing money unnecessarily. Second, understand your booking. Review your terms and conditions. Know your cancellation rights. Understand what happens if itineraries change. Third, build flexibility into your plans. If you are booking fly cruise arrangements this year, ensure flights have some flexibility. Avoid tight connections that leave no room for delay. We are not living in times where you should be booking the cheapest possible fare, which ties your hands. Fourth, hold off booking any cruise to the Middle East. We don't know how prolonged this is all going to be, do we? This whole exercise could cause huge instability in the region where all cruise ships are forced to leave. The situation in the Middle East is fluid. The supreme leader is confirmed dead, but those who remain are not giving up without a fight. There is no clarity on what the next steps will be. And why would there be? This is another illegal act of war. But more cancellations are inevitable. Cruise lines operate on risk assessment and contingency planning. They do not gamble with safety and with their most valuable assets. Routes will change, and this region could be on pause for a while. But the industry knows how to navigate uncertainty. It has done it before. But for the moment, it really is a waiting game to see what happens next.